Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the Ithaca Common Council meeting in special session today, Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. I know that Alderperson Letterman is absent today, and I understand that our other three colleagues will be joining us at some point later this evening. We do have a quorum, however, so we will be proceeding. Since there are some members of the public, I will read the emergency evacuation notice. In case of an emergency, we are to take one of two exits, the one that most folks came through over there or the back door here, and we are to head west onto the corner of Green and South Cayuga. Please do not cross the street. Those with restricted mobility, in the event of emergencies, it is best to move to one of the stairwells and first responders will arrive to aid you. In the event of other emergencies, you will be advised on how to proceed at that time. We want everyone to be aware of their surroundings and offer help when it is not to your own detriment, as you are your own best advocate. With that, I will quickly just ask if there are any additions or deletions to the agenda. Seeing none. We're doing that at the very, very beginning? Or, I have to officially move them to the agenda. That's right. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Mr. Carrison. May I please have unanimous consent to add the bond resolutions to the agenda this evening? Any dissent? Seeing none. All right, those have been added. May I have someone move the minutes from the May 14th and 21st Committee of the Whole meeting? Alderperson Matos, seconded by Alderperson St. Perez. All those in favor of the minutes as adopted. And that carries unanimously, which is a vote of No, I know it's unanimous. I'm just trying. My brain is a little bit on the fritz today. 8-0. With that, may I have a motion to move into our public hearing for community choice aggregation? Moved by Alderperson St. Perez, seconded by Alderperson Haynes Sharp. All those in favor of opening our public hearing, and that carries unanimously. And my understanding, Mr. Clerk, is that there are no speakers signed up. All right. With that, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? Moved by Alderperson Kumar, seconded by Alderperson Keel. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, and that also carries unanimously. At this time, we will turn to our special presentation for the evening, which is an update from Insero on the state of the city's audits. And I would like to welcome up our guest to present. And if you would just make sure that the light is illuminated on your microphone so that the folks on can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So my name's Dwayne Schoen, audit partner with Insero. I'm here just to give you all an update of kind of where we stand in terms of completion of the 2021 audit. We are continuing to make progress. I want to thank Wendy is here. I want to thank her for all of her work in providing us information, continuing to gather the last few pieces of things that we need. We are, I'd say, pretty close to finishing up the 2021. There are a few bits and pieces of information financially that we still need in order to get that completed. And hopefully those will be coming soon so that we can get things wrapped up and get 2021 behind you all so that you can work towards getting caught up the rest of the way. There are going to be some comments in our management comment letter. Some of those, for those of you that have looked at audit reports from prior to 2021, some of these comments are going to be continuing comments from the 2020 and prior audits. Some of the weaknesses and deficiencies that we found, when we did the 2020 audit, continued in 2021. And so those comments are going to just be kind of continuing in terms of, what the comment is, what the recommendation is. There are going to be some additional comments for 2021 because of the continued difficulties in getting information and getting completed. We did have a few significant audit adjustments that were proposed, corrected by management in the financial statements. So those, when you see the audit report, the numbers in there will be updated for those audit adjustments. Some of the findings that we'd had in the past, in particular, there had been a comment in the past about accounting for, tracking for fixed assets. We found some fairly significant differences in the fixed asset records. Because of those differences and because of the size of some of those differences, we raised the concern level, if you will, about that comment. It had been a control deficiency. We upgraded it, if you will, to a material weakness. So when you get the financial statements, you'll see that. So there are a few material weaknesses. There is one significant deficiency with respect to review of ARPA reporting. And then there is one compliance issue, which is, of course, the lateness of the single audit report not being filed timely with the Federal Audit Clearinghouse. So those comments are all right now part of the audit report, not anticipating anything else to be added before we finalize it, but that's kind of where we are now with respect to comments. The financial statements themselves, actually, I think they look pretty good. It shows on the government-wide basis a reduction in net assets of about $3.3 million. But the government-wide statements include a lot of additional pieces that aren't part of the day-to-day fund level accounting, the general fund and the other funds. So most of that decrease in net position is due to things like pension reporting, post-employment benefit, retiree health insurance reporting, things that wouldn't be part of the day-to-day accounting, if you will. The fund level basis, the financial statements right now are showing a total increase in fund balance, all funds of about $10.5 million. And in the general fund, an increase of about $6 million from 10.5 to 16.5 million in total. So the general fund has a pretty considerable increase in fund balance. The capital projects fund has an increase of about $5.1 million, principally because the bond anticipation note that was taken out during 2021 was quite a bit smaller than the bond anticipation note that was taken out in 2020. So that reduction in the liability increases the fund balance for the capital projects fund. And most of the other funds in total, pretty stable. So there were some pretty significant decreases in the sewer fund during 2021, pretty significant increases in sidewalk, stormwater funds, and most of the other ones are pretty stable from year to year. So I don't know how much more detail you want. I mean, we're still, as I said, in the process of wrapping up the financial statements and the audit report. But, that's, I guess, a summary of where we are at this point. So at this point, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
I'll open it up to questions and I'll ask the question that everyone is going to ask you, which is, when will it be done?
Okay. Yep. At this point, we are waiting for the city to provide the last few pieces of information we need for the audit report. Once we get those, we'll be able to get to finalization. So I guess I can't give you a date. It's really up to.
How much information are you missing?
We're missing information about general fund encumbrances, couple other odds and ends that need to be in the financial report, information about leased assets. I think those are the 2 or 3 things that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head that I know we need. I know there's a couple other odds and ends that I'm not remembering, but they're not things that are significant issues. They're just things that we need in order to get the financial statements completed.
Alderperson Brown.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I just have a question, or I'd like to be clarified for our constituents. You keep saying finalized, like you're talking about, we're talking about 2021.
Correct.
And to make it clear that people know there are other audits that need to happen for like 2022, 2023, 2024.
Mhm.
Because when you keep saying finalized, I don't know, I know for my hearing, it sounds like, oh, we'll be finalized. But to be clear to community is finalized for 2021.
That's correct. Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Sorry, pardon my lateness. Besides the last couple of things that you mentioned, were there any barriers that you experienced to obtaining the information, or did we, I don't mean from a personnel standpoint, I mean like from a system and paperwork kind of standpoint?
Right. I mean, the system issues that we had are the same ones that we have had. So principally, I think I mentioned, fixed asset accounting is something that has been an issue in the past, is still an issue because it's not maintained in the city's accounting software. It's done in Excel spreadsheets. A similar issue with capital project fund accounting. That's also not, or at least in 2021, wasn't in the accounting software. Was done in Excel spreadsheets, a separate spreadsheet for each project.
What about
and a-
like I'm sorry,
Nope, go ahead.
my apologies.
Yeah, so, those issues are things that we have commented on in the past and continue to be issues as far as being able to get things timely. It obviously takes a lot of time to pull all that together. That's certainly a part of the reason for the delay.
Were you able to obtain like, or was part of your process reviewing payroll information? And if so, like, were you able to obtain all of the information that you needed within that search?
Yeah, we do normally do some payroll testing, both as part of the overall audit as well as part of the single audit. I don't think that there's anything that we were lacking in the payroll end of things.
But not like you had just described with the capital, it wasn't done in spreadsheets. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yep.
Appreciate it.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Thank you so much. This is not my area of expertise, so forgive me for basic questions
Sure.
about this.
Of course.
So you threw out three numbers. You said 10.5 million, 6 million for the general fund, 5.1 million, maybe 5.4 million for capital projects fund. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean that's what you say the balances are, and do they differ from what we thought they were? Or is that something like, does that become new money for us?
So those numbers that I gave you were the change in fund balance from 2020 to from the end of 2020 to the end of 2021. Okay. Are they new money? They're not new money. There were some audit adjustments that we made as part of the audit process, and bear with me one second. In total, the audit adjustments that were made increased fund balance in the general fund by about $1.9 million. So there is more fund balance there than what was known at the end of 2021 before the audit started.
Right, which of course could be erased once we do 22, 23, 24. Okay. Can you describe for me and other people who are unfamiliar with this, what are defined as fixed assets? What are those?
Any capital assets, land, buildings, equipment, infrastructure, roads, bridges, water, sewer lines, those are all included in the overall general definition of fixed assets.
And the kind of significant adjustments that you're referring to that you made?
Mhm. So those would be, there were some cases where there were fixed assets that were purchased that were not added to the city spreadsheets. There were in some cases just formula errors, so that subtotals and depreciation numbers that are reported in the financial statements weren't correct.
Mm.
And so those were adjusted as well.
And with regard to the next round of borrowing that we're set to do
Mhm.
and the timing of the submission of 2021, is it your feeling that it will not impact us with regard to coming out of a higher risk pool? So in other words, are we going to be borrowing money at a higher rate because we are still lacking the audits for 22, 23, and 24?
I don't know the answers to that, but that would be my assumption.
And do you have an approximation on like how long we're looking at for the next 3 years worth of, because this is a lot of borrowing potentially over a long period of time. So it's a lot of extra money that we have to spend to be able to borrow for anything.
Understood. Yep. That's also something I can't answer. So we're not going to be doing the audit for 22, 23, 24. So I know that there is definitely an impetus among city manager's office, city controller's office to get things done, get caught up. But I don't really know in terms of timing.
When did you start working on this? It was January?
So well, off and on, we've been working on it longer than that. We finished the 2020 audit. I believe it was sometime in 2022. And then it's just been working on things as things became available off and on until then.
Thank you.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Sorry, but so you've been working on this audit now for 3 years,
Off and on, yeah.
off and on. I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask this, but like clearly an audit for a single year should not take 3 years. Is this pandemic related issues? Is this right? What created this lag from your perspective?
Initially, yes. So, the 2020 audit was significantly delayed because of COVID and personnel issues. There were some, I don't want to use the word layoffs, but there were some reductions in time amongst personnel that made it difficult to get the 2020 audit completed. And then those issues kind of rolled and snowballed, is the best way to say it, I think.
Understood. How best can this be expedited in the future?
Mhm.
These kind of issues snowballing be stopped and avoided?
Mm-hmm. Right. So I know that there are, I know the city controller's office now has some consultants that are working there more time in order to help get them caught up. To me, I think that's probably the most important thing is that those people continue working on getting completed, trial balances for 2022 and 3 and 4 at this point, so that those audits can be expedited.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Sorry, just one last question.
Sure.
So as soon as you receive the balance of the information that you need from the city,
Mhm.
your team is committed and ready to jump on it and get it done?
As best we can. A big part of this difficulty from our perspective, sometimes the timing of when we receive things from the city doesn't work great with our schedule. And you know, we have a lot of other clients that are also looking for things. And so sometimes when we get stuff, we don't have the ability to drop everything else and get right on this. We are certainly doing our best to get finished with 2021. I know that there is obviously interest in getting this wrapped up and getting you guys caught up.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Maybe a question for you. I assume the next step is we'll receive a final report in some way.
Mhm.
Does the council then vote to accept that report at some point? We will have a chance to review it and then we vote to accept it as well?
That's right.
Thank you.
Alderperson Brown.
A lot of my questions has been asked, but I also would like to, right now, I don't know where we're at with hiring a controller, we have an interim right now. And so my question is, I know our, system right now has been more hand and we're not computerized in that do make it slower for the controller's office to do the work. But, my question is, if we have a controller in place and those computerized, would that help us work more timely?
Yes, I'm sure that it would, yes.
Thanks for joining us this evening.
You're welcome. Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, turning to a special order of business, may I have someone please summarize and move our Community Choice Aggregation Energy Program as amended? Alderperson St. Perez.
This is our community choice aggregation program, some minor alterations to bring it into alignment with various state regulations.
Thank you, Alderperson. Seconded by Alderperson Kumar. There will be no discussion on this if we remember the mayor's jokes from last week. All those in favor, well, this will be a roll call vote. Alderperson Matos,
Yes.
Alderperson Brown, which I'm trying to say real slow so she can get back to her seat. She's good. Tech problems happen. I need you to into the microphone. It's a roll call vote. And just with the microphone on, if you don't mind.
Yay.
Thank you. Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel. Alderperson Kumar.
Yes.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes, and that passes 8-0. I'm sorry, no, we have new numbers. It passes 10-0. With that, we next have the Main Street New York grant. May someone please summarize and move this? Alderperson Nguyen.
This is a resolution supporting application to the New York the New York Main Street program for 115 to 121 South Cayuga Street for a total of $489,400 for renovation of retail office and housing space.
Thank you, Alderperson. Is there a second? Second by Alderperson Matos. And we have our Deputy Director of Economic Development and our grant administrator here to answer any questions about the memorandum that they provided in the packet. So I will offer them an opportunity if they have any prefatory comments, but otherwise we can just see if there's any questions from council. Alderperson Shapiro, I'm going to wait just to see if they have anything to say. Nope. Okay. In that case, Alderperson Shapiro.
Well, I just wanted to say good luck, but I'm just curious, have you received funding from this source in the past?
Yeah, I believe the DIA has received 3 of the New York State Main Street grants. I think Tom could probably speak to what the actual projects were, but yes, the city has experience with this program in general.
Thanks.
Alderperson Matos.
I guess one of my questions is what will be happening to the shops on the ground floors while the renovation will be happening?
Good question. I don't know the specific plans, but the property owner, Urban Core LLC, does have plans to provide temporary locations for the businesses that are there during construction if necessary. So I'm sorry, I can certainly look into the specific plans for you. One of those locations is actually two of those locations, two of those ground floor retail businesses out of four are currently vacant as well. So happy to circle back with you on the details.
Yeah, thank you.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
So I'm not super familiar with this, but it looks like this would create 18 new units of housing. Would you be able to tell us what the upper income limit would be for the housing? Like what are the income eligibility requirements for the housing?
Well, Emma looks for that detail. It is, sometimes, projects talk about affordable housing in general terms, or this idea of naturally occurring affordable housing. This would be regulated affordable housing. It will be part of state programs, other state programs besides Main Street New York, that require the owner to document and maintain those units as permanently affordable. We may have, oh, do you have it?
No, it's regulated.
We may have to circle back on the specific income threshold. I believe it is 80% AMI, but let us dig for that detail and find it for you and send it to you.
Which would equal about how much?
Also don't have the specific, it depends on the household size, but we can find those details and share them with you as well.
Thank you.
Seeing no further, Alderperson Keel, please.
I'm sorry if you already said this, but is there any indication of who would manage this particular project?
It's just Urban Core LLC, so
Are there any projects that they currently operate in the city of Ithaca?
yes.
Quite a few.
Yeah, Urban Core LLC is the development company for which the managing principal is John Guttridge. John has a pretty extensive experience with state grant programs, having used some of those programs for other projects in the past, including Press Bay Court, and the property owner also currently owns the former Mia restaurant. So yes, the developer has other projects and extensive experience with development and with navigating state grants, which is a skill set. And also has a good financing plan, which was one of the reasons that this, of the four responses that we received, rose to the top in the evaluation.
Great. Well, I'm happy to hear that we have local people who are applying for these things, local property management companies and property owners. And thank you for presenting this.
Alderperson Brown.
You mentioned the management of the places that you mentioned. Do you have anything that's comparable that he's done or they have done with affordable housing and stuff? 'Cause you mentioned restaurants and things, but this project is talking about affordable housing, right? So I'd like to know if this person has done any work in that area.
That's a good question. And, we can certainly, if you'd like to discuss this at your July 9th meeting, have the developer come and speak to their experience with housing development projects. I do know that the property owner is familiar with housing in general and has a number of units in the area. Whether they have engaged with other state-regulated affordable housing programs in the past, such as the low-income housing tax credit 4% program, I can't recall off the top.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about how this would impact or potentially impact the tax status for the parcel. So in other words, if this project were to be done and it's permanent, it's considered permanently affordable housing, what like percentage of a normal tax amount would they be paying?
This project, I do not believe, and please correct me if anybody knows differently, is subject to an abatement. So it would be following the typical assessment process for multifamily housing, which is, a commercial property under the county's assessment process. And so they would follow that process to assess the property under the new use, and that's based on the income method. So that's really a question for Jay Franklin, the county assessor, but that's what I
So-
know about the process that they would follow to assess the property.
So the proposal's been designed assuming on the assumption of an abatement. I mean, like to make the numbers work, there is an abatement in the
I
work
think I
plan.
said the opposite.
Oh.
To my knowledge, it's not subject. to
Oh,
abatement.
oh,
Sorry if I wasn't
thanks.
clear.
No, I may have misheard that.
And if I've made any mistakes in my statements, I'll be sure to correct them and send you the information. But that's what I understand.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Just a clarifying question. Are we voting on this tonight or are we moving it to our next meeting?
We're voting on this tonight. It's a special meeting.
Understood.
We, of course, are always able to receive information if there's need for further information, but this is on the agenda to be voted on. With that, all those in favor? All those. Let me try one more time. All those in favor? Okay, that carries unanimously. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Next, may I have someone please summarize and move proposed zoning amendment for bed and breakfast homes and inns and accessory apartments? Alderperson St. Perez, please summarize and move.
This is an amendment to our zoning ordinance to remove redundancies following our new legislation.
Thank you, Alderperson. Is there a second? Second by Alderperson Matos. We had the opportunity to discuss this last week. There were no takers. This is an ordinance, so we'll just go ahead and move this to a regular vote. All those in favor? That carries unanimously. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Alderperson Fabrizio. You're recognized. Please summarize and move.
Thank you so much. With great joy, I will summarize this. This is a resolution to make budget recommendations for the city manager, which will then be sent to the department heads in the making of the 2026 budget. And it's in recognition of the city's recent budget growth is unsustainable.
Alderperson, summarize and move.
Yeah, it helps us come up with a more collaborative and transparent process to engage the public earlier. There's some very specific things in here which I think the public would be interested in. We are asking staff to propose possible cost saving, cost control measures, and obviously new revenue generation wherever possible, instructing them to hold on unnecessary capital project bonding, looking at consultancy budget lines and decreasing these where possible, analyzing existing vacancies, anticipated retirements to suggest streamlining and or elimination of open positions, reviewing light items and seeing where possible cuts could be made. And, we're really asking that the budget stays below the tax cap, right? So this is a really important point. It also includes proposing reductions for training and travel budgets. So, and let me also summarize, to publish the proposed budget at least 2 weeks ahead of any scheduled budget hearing so that we have the ability to meaningfully engage the public and incorporate public input. And also, there's a lot of stuff in here for the city manager and for the staff. So it's very, very different process than what we looked at last year. We are also asking that all findings and conversations throughout the budget process by the city manager and the departments will be summarized and presented to Common Council throughout the budget process, and that in the end, we receive and that the public will be able to see a report explaining to what extent each of the recommendations made in this resolution were incorporated into the executive budget.
Is there a second?
Okay.
seconded by Alderperson Keel. Alderperson Fabrizio.
Okay. I have one correction.
You have an
Yeah.
amendment by
Right.
substitution
I do have an amendment by substitution.
circulated to council via email earlier today,
Right.
which is substantively
Exactly.
similar,
Right.
but reformatted.
Right. In a way that we don't have so many resolves and then further resolved and finally resolved and then some more resolves. I sent you a copy earlier, and Clyde's amendments are in bold, so you can see where they were incorporated. So I would like to substitute that resolution, and I have one correction that I need to make.
Make that right now.
Okay. Instead of the 13.2% increase in 2025, the county assessor has confirmed it was a 13% increase on median city tax bills. So I want to just change that in the second whereas.
So I'm going to direct the alderperson to provide that amended substituted copy with a handwritten correction to the thing you just noted to the clerk by the end of the meeting.
Got it right here.
And with that, is there a second on the amendment by substitution? Second by Alderperson Keel. All those in favor of amending by substitution, right? So we're just amending the thing where that carries unanimously. And then any discussion on the resolution? I think we had a robust discussion. Alderperson St. Perez.
I just want to reiterate that if the intent is to provide instructions to the administration to present a budget below the tax cap, I feel like we should say that and that clearly. I was outvoted. I'm not going to re-amend the process, but I want to note that.
Thank you, Alderperson. Any further comments or questions on this for a vote?
Can I just clarify that? I mean, that is specifically in here.
Let's just the alderperson is referencing his objection to the exception for living wage.
I
that
gotcha.
should be- So we don't need to, as he said, we don't need to relitigate that. I think he's just speaking for the record. With that, all those in favor of this resolution as amended, that carries unanimously. I am going to move. We are concluding our special order of business. Before we get to mayoral appointments, I'm going to move to reconsider a recommendation that I voted. That's right. Let's do those first. Good idea. Roll call votes, right? Yeah, okay. I'm going to move these and I'm going to I'm just going to go around the table asking you each to second one of them. So I will move number 854, $200,000 for Stewart Park Playground and Large Pavilion. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderperson Matos. Roll call vote. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Yes.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel.
Yay.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 10-0. 876, $100,000 for Youth Bureau parking lot and entrance construction. I so move. Seconded by Alderperson Brown. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown. Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel.
Nay.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 9-1. The mayor moves 917, $1,370,000 for a public safety facility. I so move. Alderperson Nguyen seconds. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Nay.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel.
Yay.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 9-1. Item 935, the $250,000 to the IFD fire rescue boat. I so move. Seconded by Alderperson Haynes Sharp. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown. Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
No.
Alderperson St. Perez. Alderperson Keel.
Yes.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yes.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 9-1. moves number 946, $150,000 for surveillance system replacement. The mayor so moves, seconded by Alderperson Shapiro. Alderperson Kumar. Oh, wow. I'm just so ready for this to be voting. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Nay.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel.
Nay.
Alderperson Kumar for real.
Yay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 8-2. Right. No, what's the threshold for bond is it just a simple majority? It's 2/3. Okay. I wasn't sure if it's 2/3 or 3/4. I know 8 still more than 3/4, but mayor moves 949, $415,000 for the Low Barrier Navigation Center and Homelessness Response. I so move. Sure. Seconded by Alderperson Matos. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Nay.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Nay.
Alderperson Keel.
Yes.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yes.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
No.
And the mayor votes yes. And that. Wait.
Does that not carry?
I don't know how to do 3/4 of 11. 2/3. It is 2/3. Oh, okay. That's why I wanted to confirm that before this. Okay, that carries.
Money's needed to.
So the threshold for 2/3, the threshold would be 7.
Even though there's only 10 of us here.
It's a quorum of the body. It's not of the people
I
present.
think I've asked that before.
That's okay, because if it was committee, you'd be correct. That's correct. I'm just waiting for the city attorney to just double check whatever he's double checking before I move on. Okay, cool. All right. Good job blowing up the work of the encampment working group, everybody. Good job. All right. 952, $100,000 for Youth Bureau renovation and expansion.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I have a motion on the table, so you may not right now. Alderperson Keel, you're next to second stuff. Seconded. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Yes.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel. Alderperson Kumar.
Yay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 10-0. And I'm going to move the last item before I let you all yell at each other. Number 955, 325 for 2025 police vehicle acquisition. I so move. Alderperson Kumar, you're next on the seconded. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Nay.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Yay.
Alderperson Keel.
Yay.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yes.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Yes.
And the mayor votes yes. That carries 9-1. Now, does everybody know what they voted for when they decided to not allow us to bond for the thing that we all approved? Cool. I'm not going to do the thing I used to get mad at my predecessor for doing, so I'll just do it in private later. Alderperson Matos.
Can we,
failed. It
ca-
failed.
can we now, for the public's edification, explain what will happen regarding a navigation shelter or navigation hub, since we are not able to bond for it, or we did not vote to bond for it?
Yeah, so with Alderperson Brown, St. Perez, and Fabrizio voting against this, the work of that group is stalled. We're not able to borrow for this, and the budgeted amounts of funds will be held. I'll look to the acting controller, held in, what's the word I'm looking for? So they're encumbered in the budget, but we can't actually do anything with the money because we are not borrowing. Okay. Thank you. And I'll just reiterate that on behalf of the acting controller, just for the microphone purposes. As she stated, these funds were allocated in the budget for the purpose of borrowing for this work. And with council voting down this bond resolution, that cannot move forward. Alderperson Keel, you recognized.
I'd like to move for a 5-minute recess.
Is there a second? Second by Alderperson St. Perez. All those in favor of a 5-minute recess? Hands up high if you're voting for this. Those opposed, Alderperson Nguyen, are you voting yes or no? Okay, those opposed? And that fails. The mayor's running out of patience with the pretend voting. All those in favor of a 5-minute recess? Those opposed? That carries 7-3. Really have to announce the names out of order? I was confused. You had it on point. I do, they report it in the order of all the persons that vote, and so for the purposes, yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. I didn't even realize that was happening. My math was looking at. No, just 3 people.
Welcome back, Jenny.
Yeah, what happened to Pierre? I don't know. Not surprised at that.
Interesting campaign decision, I would say.
I guess that's where it's coming from. I'd say save money. I mean, I know someone that's interesting who said that. I don't even think that way, you know. But
No, I think I'm-
you're actually 100% right, and I even know the person.
Jimmy's gonna throw him right back.
This is clearly.
Still, I'm
So
shocked.
she's asked me about it like times.
It's not a good time for him to make claims if I were him.
Yeah,
Like, where's this
he
one?
feels confident. I don't really have a sense except that I know
There's only 6 days of voting.
no one pays attention. But no one pays attention. I often get like people my age ask like who they should vote.
Yeah.
She's like, well, no.
I mean, you also live right on the corner of the
Yeah.
turf, I guess. So you're kind of a little surrounded.
Yeah. We'll see. That'll be an interesting race.
I run by our house like sweaty so many times this week.
Unless you're going up the hill. Yeah, okay. Where are you going to?
I'm helping Iris.
Say it again?
I've been helping Iris out.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that. Okay, okay.
Staying out of the
Yeah.
but Iris and I just go way back.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone says. She's got a lot of friends.
I mean, also, I go for the Labor candidate. I like Pierre. It's like,
Yeah.
it was a tough call, but.
No, she's doing well. I
Different.
looked up,
Yeah.
was running with her husband.
He told me,
Just
he
glitching out,
told
like-
me that.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. It's like hard not. It's like, oh,
He's a really nice guy.
Usually, it's a wow.
Yeah,
This year, I'm just gonna let her, you know.
that's
'cause
funny.
she-
That's funny. Yeah. I like your ears.
Sicilian, I got them on my very first church, so they're from my grandparents' town. It's very dear. There was this little gold shop, jewelry shop. And they had to like ring a buzzer to get in. And there's like this little old lady comes to the front. There's like nothing out there. And then I said, could we look at earrings and necklaces? And She goes into the back room and she comes out with her little, like cloth that's got stuff in there. She pulls out her Valentine's bill. Comes to the price. She weighs the gold.
Oh my God, that's awesome. God, nobody's doing that here. That would make things like they used.
I mean, it was, almost 30 years ago, but still, it was kind of wild.
Women's Opportunity Center that's closed.
Yeah.
To like bring the butler and
Yes.
hour.
Yes.
I missed it.
Thank you for asking. Enjoying sitting back there in the dark with us. 1,000,000%, yeah. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Maybe if I just wanted a different vantage point.
Even like,
Worried that I might show.
We're back in session. Alderperson St. Perez.
I would appreciate it if the
Is this a motion? Because we don't have a voting item up right now. So if there's a motion, please make a motion.
we cannot have discussion at this time.
Correct.
What were we just having?
We're about to move on to our next voting item.
I don't have the rules properly in my head right now. What motion do I need to make in order to continue discussion on the current set of items?
The current set of items right now is the mayoral appointments. We have disposed of the agenda at this stage.
Understood. If I wanted to reopen an item,
You as if you want to reopen an item that has passed or failed, any member of this body that was part of the prevailing side may make a motion to reconsider the previous question,
which would open discussion?
which would open discussion.
I would like to make a motion to reconsider the item 949.
Yes, he was. Because it failed. Prevailing in this case was 3 people. Continue.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to reconsider 949 and open discussion on the issue.
Is there a second on moving to reconsider the previous question? It can only be someone who voted against it, I'm pretty sure. It's been a great thing for us to look into at recess. Yeah, no, you're fine. I'll just play for time. If only Clyde were here with his Chat GPT Victor. Or just being Clyde. That's literally what he has like a Chat GP Victor.
I personally would not trust current artificial intelligence with our rules of procedure. Whereas I completely trust our city attorney with it.
And his book that looks like the Silmarillion. We can all just we can all just sit here. That's fine. We can all just sit here.
May I?
There's a motion and the chair has not yet recognized that there's no second. He's confused. He's just, we're not gonna engage in crosstalk respectfully, Alderperson. The mayor's just looking for a second. He hasn't decided if there is one yet. Because there's a procedural question as to whether Alderperson Keel's second is valid. I suspect it is, but we're just gonna wait for the city attorney to confirm that.
Would it be possible for us to proceed with other business while this is being decided?
I don't want to dispose of the motion on the table, and I would object to unanimous consent to withdraw it.
Understood.
And that's from the Roberts Rules website? Cool. Then I will sustain that, and people are welcome to overturn the decision of the chair should they so feel. But the motion is seconded by Alderperson Keel, so discussion. Alderperson Keel.
I've said this before. I said this when we were discussing this. I've said it in the tens of hours of committee meetings that we've had over the last 6 to 8 months. The city of Ithaca has historically done nothing for homeless people. We've talked about things ad nauseum, and we've never actually taken any action. This is the first time we're actually doing anything, and we're investing money in our community for these people. I feel like we've done a really good job at incorporating the feedback of every council member as we've gone through this. I feel like we've done a good job at communicating with the community. I've personally been to multiple community meetings throughout the city. We've invited community members into the working group. We've presented the working group report at other meetings. Once again, this is the first time the city of Ithaca is ever actually doing anything, and I would like to see us continue to actually do something. That doesn't mean this is the only thing we will ever do. I actually hope it's not. But the fact that we have spent hours and hours and hours discussing this, mulling it over, changing things to better fit the community, and it is going to not move forward because of a procedural bond vote would just blow my mind.
Alderperson Brown.
What's blowing my mind is when we say that they've never done nothing for the city, has never done nothing, I'm looking at a population that will not fully benefit as well. This monies did not also include them in it. And I'm talking about Black people who are couch surfing. How is the Navigation Center going to help them when it's all the way on the other side of town? And so it sounds good and it feels good, but I feel like a piece was left out once again. So for people to sit here and try and make it sound like, oh, we've done all these hours, we've done all these work, and we still have not come up with how you can tell me this is going to benefit people, Black people in this community. Not saying that the people over there don't deserve it, but how is it going to fully help the whole group of homeless people? That's my concern. I'm not going back and forth on this.
I recognize myself, and I just want the 3 members who voted against this to acknowledge and recognize that you are preventing, for at minimum 6 months, the work on this project to move forward, especially knowing that if our last colleague were here, this would pass 8-3. And so I just want to be really clear, especially for those of you who may be in the minority here, who may be in the prevailing opinion here, who voted in favor of this in the budget, this cannot move forward now. Alderperson Keel, you recognized.
I would like to say that I think that this does address those people that you're talking about. I think that we very clearly state in the proposal that addresses these the people you're talking about. I don't think that this is the end of resources being assigned to these populations. I think we should do more. I think we should move to put more money in the budget for these people in this cycle. But the idea that because it doesn't fully help one population, that we can't help another population is just like, we are moving to do something to help people, as it says, who are in the encampments, and we're doing a lot to make sure that it includes other groups as well. And I feel like it just doesn't make any sense to me that we're saying like we can't help every single population, and we can put more money towards this in the upcoming budget, and that doesn't mean we shouldn't take action now.
Alderperson St. Perez is next, then Alderperson Brown.
I would, this is bonding for a bit over $500,000. If it's possible to have a breakdown of what that is going to intend to go to.
I would refer the alderperson to the report that the council accepted.
We have accepted a report. That report had some, but not every detail to my memory. I'm not asking for every single piece of paper, but I would appreciate it if the administration could provide a brief summary of what this is going to go towards.
I have Alderperson Fabrizio next, who's not spoken to this, and then Alderperson Brown again.
I just want to say, one of the reasons I think we haven't seen some of that is because I don't think it's a completely formulated plan. I don't think it's a well-formulated plan. I don't think we've had the time to coordinate with other participating providers and the county specifically. I think this is committing us to a really unknown amount of money for an unknown amount of time, except that we know that it would be a very significant amount of time because there's no way that the Cherry Street shelter is going to be built like in the next couple of years. So this is not a short-term proposition, and I just feel that we are going into it blindly, and we have so many people working. And I think they're like, working across each other some of the time because it's just not well enough coordinated. And we can see that. Another great example of that is what's happening right now next door. We are seeing
Germaneness.
It's relevant in that it's an example of how the systems that are all involved in trying to help the most vulnerable population that we have are not able to communicate fully and coordinate completely with each other. And that's why we are seeing a lack of services for people who are living. Yes, we moved people out of the jungle and we moved them into housing, and they're not getting the services that they need to be able to help them be successful and to have a new start. And I think that my other point is I didn't vote for this previously because in addition to all that, I think that this location is just not going to be very accessible for people. But the big thing is there's so many unknowns with this, and you're just asking for a blank check for a blank number of years, and I just can't support this with the state of things as they are right now and the uncertainty of so many lines of money coming into the state, coming into the county and the city. I just can't support it.
Alderperson Matos, then I'm going to recognize the Deputy City Manager, then I'll take repeat hands.
First, I will say I do take offense to the Alderperson Fabrizio's comments regarding collaboration and pretty much the whole blank check comment. That makes it seem like the work that our Deputy City Manager and the working group did together was for nothing. Actually, it's not a blank check. The bond would be for, what is it? Where is it? $515,000. And I'm pretty sure in at least 2 presentations, Dominic did a great job in breaking down equipment, supplies, so on and so forth. The only real question or variable that was ever in those presentations, going back to my knowledge, would be staffing. And that was because we were collaborating with other nonprofits. And like you just stated yourself, that's not going on. This navigation hub would allow for that to happen. And last but not least, we are addressing the needs of the most marginalized group in this community by building that navigation hub, which Liddy said it best when this topic came up in our working group. By addressing their needs, we are also going to be able to address the inequities of other groups within this community.
Ms. Recchio.
Thank you. I want to address a few points, and I'm happy to answer other questions if they come up. Point 1 is the title of this bond resolution that you were looking at clearly talks about the navigation hub. In fact, the breakdown of the items that are budgeted out for bond authorization are as follows, and this is related to the capital borrowing that's outlined in the report that Common Council adopted. This is not related to the operational costs on staffing or other items. These are all things with a useful life that the city would own and impact city-owned property. $60,000 would be spent to clear plots and to maintain the southwest parcel area so that we could provide a place for people to reside in encampments if they are moved from other encampment sites in the city. We have several active encampment sites on actively managed land in the city of Ithaca that are currently in need of relocation to Southwest, but we need to clear some plots and we need to have a tree clearing company, some road widening, and some mulch and gravel put down to provide safe, livable spaces for people that are not wet in a swamp. So that's $60,000 related to a contract to clear those plots. $20,000 is related to the purchase of solar lighting to be installed in that area. We specifically received feedback on the safety concerns related to the southwest parcel. People asked if they were to move their campsite there, they would really like to have lighting to feel more safe with their belongings. That's priced out on actual lighting that we'd like to buy based on the equations that the lighting companies do for how far apart lights should be from one another to provide a well-lit, safe area. The installation of potable drinking water, which was a specific request from members of the community who sat in this seat in the past as well, is estimated by our water and sewer division to be $30,000 to install a meter, a backflow preventer, excavation, labor, and materials. That's paid to our own city staff to do that work. $5,000 is for signage to make sure that the southwest parcel is navigable by law enforcement, emergency responders, including EMS and the fire department, to respond directly to someone in need if they call for help while they're in the area that we are allowing camping. A second entrance to the southwest parcel would cost about $10,000 for culvert work, so that people who may not feel comfortable entering southwest parcel through one entrance can have a more accessible entrance closer to other parts of the city of Ithaca. $30,000 is estimated for trash management. One of the very first thing and the most frequent thing we heard from people who have lived in encampments feel that cleanup and trash management is very important. That is 5 years worth of trash management budgeted out based on actuals for how we have managed dumpsters in the area to maintain city property in the past. We have $50,000 in this for navigation hub furnishings. If we are to partner with Tompkins County with a navigation hub and we need to provide safe document storage for people who may have documents and not want to leave them in their encampments when they would go to DSS or seek other services, we need secure mailboxes and other things to help store people's items. People also have animals, pets that they would like to perhaps leave in a safe environment while they go to seek services. This would allow us to have a few kennel spaces as well. And we've budgeted that out based on the specific storage solutions and items that we would be purchasing relative to the navigation hub. We have $10,000 as a campground operating permit contingency. As you all know, we would be applying to have a permit to operate a campground, and that $10,000 is if we are unable to secure toilets, for example, in a navigation hub facility nearby, and we are still going to be regulated by New York State to operate a campground, we may need to purchase a toilet. And then there is a $200,000 share from the city of a $300,000 total brush truck for the fire department, which, as I detailed here, is related to the required potential firefighting capacity in and around the area. So those are the details after we met with DPW and other city staff and conducted additional research for the costs of the goods. But I do want to just reiterate, the title says navigation hub. It is hopefully nearby a navigation hub, but these are improvements of useful life items in the southwest parcel that is city-owned land in the adopted policy and report.
Thank you. My next speaker is Alderperson Brown.
As others may feel slighted or whatever, it sounds real good when it's coming from other people about the most marginalized people. As
Germaneness to the resolution, please.
okay, as someone who have watched, okay, let's get this done and get this on the board, and then next we'll go for the next people. That's don't sit right with me. I don't see nothing in here that talks about how we will make sure others will be able to utilize this navigation center. It's sounding like this navigation center is for individuals who are in the encampment. It does not sound like this navigation center is for community. So that is not where I'm seeing, unless I'm missing something. I have not seen how this will be accessible to others. Even when I talked about making this, if y'all, that's what you want to call it, but making it accessible in other communities where people cannot, and I've talked about that in extension, that there are people who will not be able to get over to Southwest area who also need the navigation center.
I'm going to recognize myself before I recognize Alderperson Fabrizio, because I have made this point before and I will do it again. This council voted unanimously to appoint, let me finish the thought first, to appoint a working group on encampment policy, to hold that group to task for not going beyond their legislative authorization is wildly inappropriate. Yes, this does not address every problem facing our unhoused community, but the staff and the community members and the council members that worked on this were diligently executing the legislative directive provided for by every single person at this table. Alderperson Fabrizio.
So Dominic, I think that, thanks for outlining those costs. I think those are, pretty much the startup costs. And, sort of what I'm getting at is that there isn't any sort of contract with the county and there's no contract with other groups that would be involved in this. So this is a city standalone sort of project right now with the hope that there will be some buy-in. And we don't have, as far as I know, we don't have anything firm about that. And so what you're not telling us is what the all the operational costs would be for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, et cetera. And I do, just want to say again, Patrick said we haven't done anything. We moved almost 40 people over to Asteri out of the encampment. And it is very clear that though they have a roof over their heads, they are living in a dangerous situation, a difficult, incredibly difficult situation. And they're not getting the services that they need because we don't have enough psychiatric services, we don't have enough drug services, a lot of things that people are desperately in need of. We are not able to provide. And when I say we, I mean we as a community. I'm not saying that those kinds of services fall, within the purview of the city. I'm talking about county, state, federal money that should be providing those kinds of services. So there is not an easy solution. I spent quite a bit of time today talking with one of the people who is actually, working with people at Asteri, and I have a pretty good sense now of how unbelievably understaffed that operation is and the trouble that it's leading us to. And I am just not convinced that this is our solution and that it's been formulated enough and that we have a buy-in from other places that have, this is very much within their purview. In fact, even more so, some might argue, than within a city purview.
I have Alderperson Kumar, who has not spoken to this item, and then Alderperson Shapiro, who has not spoken to this item.
Just to kind of respond directly to the Asteri comparison, I do think that, although the conditions there aren't an issue, and I think we need to work hard to address it, I don't think that the conditions in the encampments were much better or safer for the individuals who were living there. And I think the only difference is that we're trying to put these unhoused individuals out of sight and out of mind, rather than being somewhere where they can be integrated into the downtown neighborhood. But all in all, I think my biggest concern with voting this down is that we have gone through the process. We've been completely transparent with the public, and we have had ample opportunity for questions to the deputy city manager, as well as to other stakeholders and other experts. And it just feels like to stop this up last minute after we've put it through, and to delay it, I believe, arbitrarily. I think that I hope that constituents will see that the people blocking this up have blood on their hands.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Took it there. Is that me? Hi, Shapiro.
Shapiro, and then St.
All
Perez.
right, I was with you the whole way. That was a little much for me at the end, but I agreed with mostly of your sentiment. You know, like we can decide as a body to have a committee about a starry in the same way we just did with the encampments and figure out what kind of plan we want to do with a starry. I kind of agree with the mayor's point. It's like we had this body decided that we had a task. We came together to talk about encampments and what we should do in the encampments for trying to be accessible, but also with some clear understanding that we were focusing on the folks that were struggling with housing that were in the encampment. So a lot of this was, I felt very, we all knew what we were signed up to do. I'm kind of surprised that we're not funding it. I'm also surprised that like it's another time where like we're reconsidering things. I wish people would get to their votes and stick to them. I don't know what else to say. I thought I mean, you were just going through these very quickly. I thought we were all gonna just, like I mean, you all know I wasn't gonna vote for the fireboat, but I didn't actually expect that the funding would get turned down. Anyway, I don't know what else to say.
Alderperson hand sharp who has not spoken.
Can I ask Dominic a question? So what would the impacts of this vote be on county efforts to address homelessness in that location? Like, is there a relationship between the city and the county that this would be jeopardizing in any sort of way?
I have a motion, I think that's going to be helpful for this from Alderperson Matos.
Yes, I would like to motion for an executive session so that we can talk about
Contracting.
contract negotiations. I don't know.
Real estate and contract negotiations, right? You'll be there, so you can tell us if yeah.
Oh, okay, so I would like to,
Council, okay.
maybe.
Let's do the real estate transaction, the publicity of which yada 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 might affect, yeah. And
Okay.
then if that turns out not to be the case, then we'll come back and then we'll have to do advice of counsel where that, seconded by Alderperson St. Perez. All those in favor of moving into executive session? Those opposed? Okay, that carries 10-0. I'm gonna, is the second floor open, do we know? Because I'm gonna assume we're gonna have a voting item, so I don't wanna, okay, well, let's all go downstairs.
Leave executive session?
Is there a second? Second by Alderperson Matos. All those in favor of leaving executive session? That carries unanimously. Alderperson St. Perez, you were the next person on the list.
So when we initially approved this into the budget, I was highly concerned that we were committing more funding in a single budget cycle to this project than was requested by the administration. And during that time, I recall being told there would be discussion before we would vote to approve any such bonding on this project. I am grateful that the mayor has allowed for discussion, and I think my takeaway from the past couple of minutes, however frustrating they have been for this council, is that the discussion was warranted and necessary. That said, I will be happy following the discussion that we've had to support this moving forward.
You're next. On my list that was running, unless you don't have anything, I can recognize. I'm going to recognize myself because, and I rarely do this, but I very much take umbrage with what the alderperson just stated, because yes, there was discussion about this after it passed the budget. There was a working group established. There was several briefings by the administration and our working group colleagues. And I believe that the alderperson is making a political statement, not a sincere one, by arguing that we needed to have debate on a bond resolution when that has never been this body's practice, was not the practice for any of the previous ones. And if the alderperson had a comment or a question, could have raised an issue prior to a vote on any of these things. I do not believe that is sincere in any way, shape, or form. You're recognized.
Mayor Cantelmo, genuinely, I did take objection to the rush with which you went through this, especially considering the discussion that we had about it during the budget cycle. That was, in full honesty, and I say this in full honesty, the reason why I voted against it coming forward.
Respectfully don't believe you. But with that, we'll go to a vote. The motion to reconsider, we're voting on the motion to reconsider, and then we will vote on, if this passes, then we will do the roll call vote. So all those in favor of reconsidering the previous question? That's unanimous. Alderperson Matos.
Yes.
Alderperson Brown.
Yes.
Alderperson Nguyen.
Aye.
Alderperson Haynes Sharp.
Yes.
Alderperson Shapiro.
Yes.
Alderperson St. Perez.
Aye.
Alderperson Keel.
Yes.
Alderperson Kumar.
Yes.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
No.
And the mayor votes yes. That passes 9-1. With that, I'm going to move to reconsider a previous question from a previous session. I was in the prevailing opinion on the decision to not request that staff look into the abolishment of minimum lot sizes for the South Sides Forum District. I have since been persuaded by colleagues, because that is in fact a thing that can happen, that this is a good opportunity as the city moves towards forum districts to set good precedents in alignment with modern planning practices and housing and development goals. And I have changed my opinion on that. And so as a member of the prevailing opinion on that vote, I am moving to reconsider that previous question. Seconded by Alderperson Keel. Any discussion on this? And this is just the motion to reconsider. So to reconsider.
Can you just, can you say again what we're reconsidering?
Yes. So there were a series of recommendations made to planning staff at our last meeting, one of which failed by a tie vote, actually, was to request that they look at the reduction and elimination of minimum lot sizes. My position at that time was that that is something that should be done citywide. That being said, as the city moves away from Euclidean zoning towards form-based code, I have been persuaded that this is a good test case for us to set a model that if this is in fact something that I support citywide, I should support it in this instance and have that be precedent for form-based code moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor of reconsidering the previous question? Those opposed or in favor? I just couldn't see your hand.
Out of deference to you, Mayor Cantelmo, I am voting in favor.
Okay, that passes 10-0. So then any debate on the, did you have a point on the actual?
I was just going to say very similarly to you, Mayor Contamo, I had a conversation with a constituent that made me reconsider my initial vote. So thank you for this.
Alderperson Nguyen?
Same, I reflected and regretted my vote as well, so thank you.
All right, all those in favor of recommending there be the elimination of minimum lot size requirements in the Southside form-based code that staff will bring back to us for further consideration.
It's still not clear to me what we're voting on.
This was like last week's.
No, I
No, I'll just repeat. This is, so Alderperson Keel made a series of motions. I'm just trying to be very, one of them was, let's eliminate minimum lot size requirements.
It passed.
That was 5-5, so it failed.
I thought that passed.
Mm. That's where your confusion comes from. So all those in favor? Those opposed? That now passes 7-3. I have some appointments and then we're done. I have, this is a bit of a preamble to these appointments. So it turns out the Community Police Board is like the only body in the city that caps the number of appointments that the mayor can nominate in a given calendar year, which like just feels normatively weird. So you'll see that there are two people who are nominated for appointments. These are both new appointees. I am also continuing on a number of folks who are, so there are two commissioners for certain that have submitted materials who wish to continue on. Per our code and charter, those folks continue to serve until they are replaced. The two folks I am nominating today are to replace, I'm sorry, one is to replace a retiring member and one is to replace just a vacancy that's been sitting there. And the conversation I had with the clerk, the deputy clerk, and the executive assistant to the city manager was, we're going to hold off on that third appointment until such time that we have finished reviewing all the applications. We have finished confirming who is staying on the board and who is seeking to be reappointed, because we are unfortunately capped at 5. All of this preamble to say I would like to bring forward to you all at some point that we bring our appointment systems in line. Like it just, I understand the need for staggered terms. It does feel weird that if in the event of someone resigning from a position, and I've made 3 appointments to this board, that there just can't be a replacement. That just seems bonkers. With that, I have moved that we are appointing Nikki Sayward and Benjamin Sandberg to the Community Police Board. Nikki for a 2-year term ending on New Year's Eve 2026. Benjamin Sandberg, New Year's Eve 2027. Question, Alderperson Keel.
I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the inclusion of their resumes. I know that this has been a long time coming and something that I've requested quite a few times. But I think it gave me a much more, or the responses, I think it was just the responses, but I really appreciate that we're able to get a more holistic view of why people want to serve. And honestly, I'm okay with just doing responses, but I just think it's better than having just a name on a piece of paper that I have no idea who this is and like trying to maybe LinkedIn search them or something.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I want to thank the clerk's office and the administration for moving this this needed reform forward. Question, Alderperson Shapiro.
Did you say the board is capped or that others are capped at 5? I think, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
having
you're-
trouble tonight.
You're fine, Alderperson. I was saying that the Community Police Board is the only board in the city that caps the number of appointees that the mayor can make in a calendar year.
In a calendar year, okay.
And so now many boards, as you know from our ethics advisory board, which I'm gesturing at Alderperson St. Perez because he serves on it. Many of our boards have staggered terms, right? That makes sense. But there are no other boards with a provision that prohibits further appointment of individuals once 3 have been made, or any number.
Okay.
Alderperson Fabrizio.
Well, can I
Oh,
I
I'm sorry. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as everybody knows, I've been relaying as liaison, I've been relaying the desires of the commissioners to have their reappointments voted on. So, so this was new to them to see this on the agenda. It was new to me. I had assumed as liaison, I would somehow know this information ahead of the agenda so that I can field some of the questions that I started getting. But I don't really have a huge stake in it other than saying those things and this final point in that people who volunteer to or serves on our commissions, you know, we might not think we're getting paid all that much and we're not, but we get something for being on council. I feel like volunteers, they're giving us their time because they care. And I don't think many of the people sitting on the community police board feels like their service has been appreciated. So I'll leave it at that. I think I reviewed the resumes of the findings of these two candidates. They certainly seemed like good people to serve on the community police board. And I think we should always be appreciative of all the volunteers that always give whatever time they give to help the city operate. I just think that's an important value.
And I do want to just close loop on, just to clarify again, I think it was via email, but I have spoken to the commissioners who have applied to be reappointed and explained what I just explained to the body, that just about like the limiting of appointments. Barring any changes, those folks you can expect, well, half of you can expect to vote on in January.
Okay, thank you.
Alderperson Fabrizio, you're next.
So are there 4 serving commissioners who wish to continue? Is it 4?
Oh, I don't, it's a large board. It's like 9 people or something.
Right, but I mean, the applications that you have for reappointment, how many do you have that haven't been decided yet? The people who are active commissioners
I
right
think
now
there
who
are a
want to
couple-
continue.
So we have received affirmative communication from at least one that they do not wish to continue service.
Right,
I think we are reminding people, I'm looking at the clerk, to apply if they wish to continue on. And these applications, if you were to look at what I have here, and in fact, if you look at it legislate, they have been coming in for like the last 4 months. So we're also giving people time if they have not yet reapplied, because we sent out the reminder in May to all our boards for reapplications. So the blunt answer to your question is we don't 100% know yet. We're trying to give people time to communicate to us if they wish to be reappointed.
so I was under the impression that people had asked to be reappointed already and that they just hadn't heard.
Yes, there are, as I just said to Alderperson Shapiro, there are some people who receive communication from me that they will be reappointed because they have sent their applications in and I've reviewed them, and we are holding that final appointment in the event of the needing to fill a vacancy because I'm capped at 3 per year.
Right, so by doing these 2 appointments now, will that potentially displace someone who's been serving who wishes to continue?
No, these 2 appointments are filling 1, a vacancy, and 2, someone who has communicated a desire to retire from the board.
Right, but then say there were 4 people who are
That is not
wanting to
what we're voting on
continue.
tonight.
But I'm wondering, will the cap then not allow you to reappoint people if you go ahead and appoint 2 people now?
If let's say Alderperson Fabrizio is let's say Margaret Fabrizio, not an alderperson, right, is a member of a board. When your term expires under city charter, you remain in that position until you are replaced, even though your term has expired.
I see.
So that's what's happening with these 2. They're still on the board. They are serving their expired terms as holdover appointments. Nothing about their status has changed.
But when you appoint these new people, that will not affect whether or not you can reappoint them? That's what I'm getting at.
I apologize. I don't know how else to answer the question. I feel like I'm appointing people to 2 vacant spots right now.
Right.
That's what's happening tonight.
Right. But if you can only appoint X number of people during the course of the year, if there's, say, 4 people who are serving on the commission right now who want to continue, you will not be able to
But they would just
reappoint
be
them.
holdover appointments, so they would
Okay.
continue to serve.
Okay, I see. So they wouldn't be considered new appointees.
Correct.
Okay, thanks, sorry.
Any further questions?
I did have one more question.
Please.
historically, have the people who've been appointed to this board been vetted?
I don't understand. Yes, yes. I don't understand.
I mean, like through a formal sort of process? Because it was my understanding that there was a more formal sort of vetting process for people who are serving on the Community Police Commission, Board Commission.
We have gone through that process. It is a staff process. As with all of our appointments, it goes to the appropriate staff personnel.
I mean,
And
like
then-
background check kind of vetting. That's what I thought had happened historically.
I am not going to speak to that on the open floor.
Okay, just a question.
No, I'm not dismissing with prejudice. I'm just saying I'm not going to speak to something of a sensitive nature on the
I
floor.
see. Okay, thanks.
Any further questions on these two appointments? All those in favor? That carries unanimously. Then I have these three individuals, David Warden, Thomas Hayward, and Aaron Ferguson, to be appointed to the Examining Board of Plumbers. The first two to be reappointed, and the third to be appointed to a 3-year term, all expiring on New Year's Eve, 2027. The only additional piece of information I will add here is I believe these are the 3 applications we have received, and we need our plumbers to be certified. So I'm welcome to field any questions. Most of my answers will probably be, these are 3 people who are willing to serve in this capacity, and we need them to do so. All those in favor? That
Let's
carries
say thank you
unanimously.
very much
Yes.
to them.
With that, that concludes all of our scheduled business. Therefore, we are adjourned.